Hello, logical morning, everyone. My name is Palak Rajani, and welcome to another book review session. I hope you all have read the last book that we reviewed, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And today we are here with another book review session. I'm trying to come up with a collection of good books that you can refer to in like a short period of time. See, on general basis pe, if you want to like read books, if you have a good reading speed, if you have a good perception, you can pick up so many books. But some books are, you know, lessons for life. Some books stick with you like for your entire life, and some books are really close to your heart. One such book that I feel can truly touch your mind and truly change your perception on the way you see things is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This is not a recent book, let me tell you. It's a classic. When I say classic, yes, it's has enhanced the life of so many lawyers. It has enhanced life of so many people in general as well. This book offers a ton of creativity, and I would urge all you law aspirants, especially, to read this book. Reason you will come to know shortly why I am stressing for law aspirants. See, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, once again, is a treasure of so many things. It gives you glimpse of era of 19 like 60s, what generalization prevailed at that time. It gives you a hint of prejudice. It gives you a lot of information about racism that prevailed. So, all of these things together compile up a lot of sensitivity when you read this book. Apart from this, the book offers a good amount of vocabulary, a good amount of literary devices. Yes, you will find so many like metaphors and similes basically in every chapter that you read. The book requires a creative perception as to understanding the style that is varying in every part of the book, themes that are covered. So, surprising elements, there are a lot of surprising elements in this book. And all in all, it is a great read. And let's start by, you know, understanding the summary first of all. See, this book focuses on thing that happened in the fictional town of Mycomb. And basically, why am I saying this book is really good for all you law aspirants? Because it talks about all the courtroom proceedings. See, this book is about here, it's given a scout and a brother. Let me tell you, the protagonist or our main character is Jean Louis Finch, which is known like she's known as Scout in the entire novel, and she's our main character. And she is the daughter of she and her brother Jem are son and daughter and son of another main character, that is Atticus Finch. He plays as a prominent lawyer in the novel, and also he aims to instill qualities of being just and being empathetic in his children. This is what he diligently focuses on in the entire novel. All he wants for his kids is to learn how to be kind, how to be just, and how to show empathy towards people who are in need of understanding. So, this book focuses on Atticus Finch, his love towards his children, and also how he diligently fights, how he gives his life basically in saving Tom Robinson, a black man who is falsely accused of raping Myla Ewell, a white woman. So here only you can understand what an interesting turn of events this novel shows, what an interesting language has been used by the author to just liven up, like you live it up, all of it when you read this. So the interesting part in the novel comes in the second half, and let me tell you all of the courtroom proceedings that are mentioned. This will give you a lot of perception and you will face a lot of realities. Talking about Scout and her brother, these children grow up to a course of 4 to 5 years in the novel only, so the story goes for that long. Okay, let me tell you why is this book a classic, because it was enormously popular and it even won a Pulitzer Prize. So that is like great recognition in this field. Like I said, the book is a gem. It's a treasure to a lot of literary devices. Namely, we have themes. You will see different style of writing that is very creative by the author and point of view. Basically, there are characters which I said like Scout, the girl, daughter of Atticus Finch. Her perspective, her point of view is taken number of times, which I'll highlight shortly. And tone, of course, when you read anything, understanding what author is trying to say is what joins you, what binds you with the author, and you feel yourself as them. Metaphors and similes, you will find metaphors and similes, such wonderfully and creative use of metaphors and simile. And this book has to offer that you must be surprised. And it's a good way to, like, understand the knowledge, understand the actual language given by the author. So that comparison is just mind blowing in the novel. Let's start with the themes. The book highlights number of themes at different parts of the novel. Reason being, the book begins by showing us the picture of how the lives of Scout and Jem were as kids. All they saw was good in people, but as they grow up, they are faced and they are confronted with the realities कि भाई ये दुनिया सिर्फ अच्छे लोगों की नहीं है. They're like unfair and cheating and people with evil intentions ये भी होते हैं. So they were as in, like, they started, the novel starts with such innocent kids, but as they grow up through the course of novel, gradually they are confronted by several realities कि भाई evil also exists. It's not all the good that you see. So first theme that we find in the book is like coexistence of good and as well as evil. Then the novel has a take on larger moral questions. ये क्यों कहा गया है? Like I mentioned, Atticus Finch aims on instilling good moral values in his children because he himself is portrayed as a prominent lawyer with very good ethics and good qualities, and so he wants his children as well to like have faith in people and be just, be kind, understand the problems and emotions of other people as well. रिजिड सोशल डिविजन्स, ये जो नॉवल है ये 1930s में जो रेसिज्म और वाला जो मतलब पीपल ऑफ कलर उनके लिए जो ये बहुत प्रॉब्लमैटिक सिचुएशन रही होगी उसको बहुत हद तक हाईलाइट करता है. So, social divisions, discussions about prejudice and racism. Like I said, racism in particular लिया है क्योंकि ये courtroom proceedings जो आएंगी, it's a very sensitive case talking about a black man raping a white woman. So in itself is like like very difficult to understand and imagine करने में ही it has to, like, how interestingly it has been presented in the novel. It's amazing. So particularly it talks about racism and in general prejudice, like how people behave at such times. वो भी काफी कुछ highlight करा गया है इस novel में. So all in all, a good approach. It is going to change your perspective once you are done with the novel. Themes के बाद comes the tone. Tone, let me tell you, is what the author was feeling, what he had in mind, with which attitude he wrote this novel, is what we are going to talk about here. The first half of the book carries light and nostalgic. Like I said, Scout and Gem. Well, Scout remembers and she like reminisces and feels nostalgic, thinking about time when they were kids and they used to play. So initially, बहुत ही light tone रही है novel में, but gradually it grows, it becomes dark. Like it was chatty in the beginning, and then धीरे धीरे, as we approach the second half of the novel, it becomes dark because somehow We are talking about children losing their innocence when they are confronted with, oh my God, what is happening in this world? How can people be so evil? And why the unfair business here? So ये सब जब चीजें introduce होती जाती हैं, so the tone just gradually changes to being dark. This sentimental tone क्योंकि it talks about sensitive topic of racism, तो एक sentimental value भी आ जाती है इसमें. People of color are suffering a lot. They are needy and they are suffering, highly suffering as presented in the novel. सो ये होती है टोन की बात. अब हम आ जाते हैं फिगरेटिव डिवाइसेस पे. यहाँ मैं फोकस करूंगी ऑन ओनली ऑन सिमिली एंड मेटाफर बिकॉज दे आर प्रेजेंटेड वेरी नाइसली इन द नॉवल. बहुत अच्छे कुछ कंपैरिजंस प्रेजेंट करे हैं इस नॉवल में. फर्स्ट लेट्स डिस्कस व्हाट इज अ सिमिली. सिमिली एंड मेटाफर बोथ आर कंपैरेटिव टूल्स गाइस. हम सिर्फ कंपैरिजन देखते हैं सिमिली और मेटाफर में. सिमिली में यू विल फाइंड द वर्ड्स लाइक एज एंड सो. फॉर एग्जांपल द असीरियन केम डाउन लाइक अ वुल्फ ऑन द फोल्ड. तो लाइक वर्ड हम कंपेयर कर रहे हैं तो डायरेक्टली कंपैरिजन शो करते हैं. बट मेटाफर में हम सिंपली कह देते हैं ए इज इक्वल टू बी. लाइफ इज अ ड्रीम. डायरेक्ट कंपैरिजन, एक को दूसरी चीज बोल दी. So keeping this in mind, I have picked out a few examples from the novel, but trust me, when you will read the novel, you will find numerous examples which are like very creative. कोई ऐसे directly आपके सामने metaphors नहीं रख दिए. Very creatively, author has presented very nice comparisons using metaphors and similes. Let's see the first example. Talking about the first one, इधर लिखा है the Radley place fascinated Dill. In spite of our warnings and explanations, it drew him as the moon draws water. अब as the moon draws water means here we are talking about Radley plays की जो fascination है for Dill, उसको हम किससे कंपेयर कर रहे हैं? एज द मून ड्रॉज वाटर, मीनिंग द ग्रेविटेशनल पुल ऑफ द मून दैट कॉजेस टाइड्स, हाई एंड लो टाइड जिनकी बात करते हैं हम. तो ये कितना ही क्रिएटिव कंपैरिजन है. when you are presenting using a figurative tool, I think this was highly creative. So ये talking about how the gravitational pull of moon is causing tides. Then coming to the second one, she looked and smelled like a peppermint drop. ये कहा गया है, see this comparison has been made for a character named Miss Caroline in the novel because one day like she was this enthusiastic teacher of the like kids mentioned Scout and Gem here. So one day like she dressed up in a striped dress and she wore red nail paint. She even had red hair. So basically she looked like a peppermint candy. So this is why ये comparison किया गया था like a peppermint drop. Third is Aunt Alexandra fitted into the world of my comb like a hand into a glove, but never into the world of Jem and me. अब यहाँ पे Aunt Alexandra करके जो character हैं और इधर माइकोम को किससे कंपेयर किया है? ग्लव. The town of Mycomb is being mentioned as a glove and Aunt Alexandra is talked about as a hand. मतलब जैसे hand एक glove में कितना properly fit हो जाता है. We are talking about Aunt Alexandra being fitted to a town of Mycomb like a hand to a glove, but not into the world of Kid Scout and Gem. So another creative comparison made. Last is with his indefinite capacity for calming turbulent seas, he could make a rape case as dry as a sermon. See guys, when we are talking about comparison, यहाँ पर जो है we are talking about Atticus Finch. Atticus Finch जो character है वो बहुत ही एक calm, composed और peaceful human के form में दिखाया गया है in the novel. So Scout, his daughter, compares Atticus's calm and dispassionate style in the courtroom to a kind of like a superpower. Superpower कैसे? That allows him to transform something inherently exciting or dramatic. मतलब एक boring, as dry as a sermon. Like उसको एकदम इंटरेस्टिंग और एंथुसियास्टिक बनाना, लाइक एक्साइटिंग बनाना, दैट वाज द क्वालिटी ऑफ एटिकस फिंच. तो ये कंपैरिजन इधर बहुत क्रिएटिवली दिखाया गया है once again. Okay, so like I said, this book is a gem for all you law aspirants, and I think in particularly for anyone. But stressing for those who are pursuing law, reason being, there are major life lessons you get to learn. Atticus Finch, being a very noble father, all he wants to do is instill qualities of being just and kind and empathetic into his kids. We can have like 4 life lessons from what Atticus Finch would want his kids to learn. Number one, put yourself in other people's shoes. एक quotation दी है in the book which I'd like to use here. You never really understand a person until you consider things from their point of view, until you climb inside of the skin and walk around it. ये quote इसी book में से use की है, and this clearly talks about putting yourself in other people's shoes. Empathy, being empathetic, thinking about what others are experiencing. And this has been talked about. See, this book is about when Tom Robinson, a black guy, is accused of raping a white woman. So Tom Robinson becomes the weak one here. See, he's falsely accused. So he must be fighting so hard to prove himself as not guilty. So we must empathize with people who are like struggling, isn't it? Don't kill mockingbirds. Let me tell you, ये चीज मैंने लास्ट के लिए ही रखी. The title says to kill a mockingbird. Title in itself is a great metaphor, guys. टू किल अ मॉकिंग बर्ड मेटाफर बोल दो या और कोई भी लिटरेरी डिवाइस, इसमें मेटाफर ये क्यों है? क्योंकि मॉकिंग बर्ड्स को किससे कंपेयर किया गया है यहाँ पे? वी आर कंपेयरिंग मॉकिंग बर्ड्स टू एनी वन हु इज डिफेंसलेस, एनी वन हु इज वीक. सी, मॉकिंग बर्ड्स आर पीसफुल बर्ड्स. दे जस्ट सिंग, दे डोंट हार्म एनी वन. सो टू, इसमें बुक में दिया गया है इट इज अ sin to kill a mockingbird. So it is a sin to kill a mockingbird because it is a sin to hurt anyone who is defenseless, who is weak, who is unable to fight. So you should empathize with such people rather than criticizing them or hurting them. Keep fighting even if you know you will lose. Our protagonist, Atticus Finch here, he knew. See, this book talks about racism that prevailed highly in 1930s, and the book is based on that. So Atticus Finch knew that even though he presented like um, useful facts and relevant facts, even though he did all of that, he's going to lose because he was on the weak point. Color of people like Tom Robinson, they were struggling at that time because of the prejudice and racism of people who were living there. So even though he knew that I'm going to lose, all he wanted to present and portray for his children was that keep fighting till the last point, last breath. You cannot just give up. कि ये तो मेरे हाथ में ही नहीं है, what can I do? Even though you know you're going to lose, you must not give up fighting. The last is the world is very unfair. This goes to the children scout and gem who, like I said, grow through the course of 4 to 5 years through the novel. And what they realize that even the justice system can be like unfair when the Tom Robinson is finally sentenced. And they realized how the system being unfair to innocent people. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's session, and I really urge each and every one of you to read this novel. It's really a gem, and I'm sure you are going to love the creativity and the seriousness and the wonderful ways in which the author has presented the sensitive topic here. And also, you will please do make a note of words and phrases that you find difficult and just work on them. It's a good way to practice vocab, good way to practice understanding, good way to practice the themes. Okay, hope you enjoyed today's session. Don't forget to press the like button and do share the video. Till then, I am Palak Rajani and I'm going to come once again with yet another amazing session. Till then, keep reading, keep working hard, stay focused, and stay logical with Vidhigya, your best pal in CLAT Preps. All right, bye everyone.